Showtime has put on some of the biggest boxing matches of 2023. Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia, Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr., Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo. But it's now being reported the fate of Showtime Boxing is in jeopardy. Showtime, who is owned by Paramount, will soon face a complete restructuring and rebranding. Now, what's happening here really reminds me of HBO, which dropped boxing back in 2018 for declining ratings and loss of interest. Some sources who are close to the situation did give us some more insight. Showtime leaving the boxing industry is also down to video amp technology, which revealed that their viewing figures fell below 5% of the 10% threshold required for Paramount to continue pumping in money to the sport. Showtime Boxing is owned by Paramount. Paramount uses video amp technology, a sophisticated real-time tracking service, and began using this for all their subsidiaries, including Showtime Boxing. The real viewership began surfacing, not inflated numbers. A company like Paramount, who was housed with young digital executives, weren't too pleased with the numbers. Showtime Boxing was producing a single percentile, much lower to the 0% mark than the 10% one. Showbox fell well short of the desired threshold for reviewing continuation. Now, while boxing fans are upset and confused about the future of the sport, UFC president Dana White seems to actually be happy that Showtime is leaving boxing. And of course, this is partly because of his ongoing feud with the president of Showtime Sports, Stephen Espinoza.
Rumors and reports are starting to come out that Showtime might be leaving boxing.
That's incredibly unfortunate. Production of that show is fantastic. The guy who runs Showtime Boxing is a great human being. It's unfortunate to hear this. Espinoza. And it's about time that that shitty product is off the air.
You're sad to see it go, I see. It does feel then that there might be a gap in the market in boxing, and if
what's that?
It sounds like there could be a gap in the market then for boxing, and maybe if some companies have just formed a new company, there could be a big juggernaut that could start a new boxing promotion or boxing show.
You never know. Sounds good to me.
So for those that may not know, the beef between Stephen Espinoza and Dana White go way back to like 2017, 2018, when Floyd Mayweather fought Conor McGregor. The UFC and Showtime co-promoted the event. Now, I don't know the exact reason why they don't like each other. You know, it's probably partially because they're direct pay-per-view competitors. So Stephen Espinoza, or the Weasel, did respond to Dana White's comments. He had this to say.
He's out of boxing going up. He made some comments, some that sounded endearing, but what do you think the hostility with you and Dana is? Just overall, is it from the Mayweather constant?
I don't know that we're rivals. I don't give a lot of thought to him. Look, I'm shocked. I'm shocked by the comments. We've always known Dana to be, so articulate and intelligent and witty with his comments.
But this will be the third time in the last 6 months that we've done a gate of $20 million. Again, our third $20 million gate in the last 6 months. To put that in perspective, UFC has never done a gate of $20 million in its entire history. We've done it 3 times since April. Like I said, this is special.
So the beef between these two didn't end here because Dana White would respond one final time. That's exactly the type of response I would expect from that weasel Espinoza. That scumbag has absolutely nothing to do with the success of Canelo, Ryan Garcia, and Terrence Crawford. These guys are megastars, and they are the ones responsible for driving the gates in their fights. For him to even try and take any credit at all shows you exactly what an arrogant, delusional piece of shit that guy is. For this clown to talk about levels is hilarious. The production of the fights on Showtime is an embarrassment, and I have been saying that forever. He is a little guy with a big yap and is a complete phony. I'm not at all surprised this is the end for them. It should have came way sooner. Sorry to see you go, Weasel. Enjoy your retirement. Now, as I'm making this video, Stephen Espinoza has yet to respond. So if you are a boxing fan, it is quite disheartening to see how things are unfolding and the future of boxing remains uncertain. You know, back when HBO dropped boxing, Top Rank CEO Bob Arum kind of predicted this was going to happen. He had this to say: HBO doesn't belong in boxing, Showtime doesn't belong in boxing. They're entertainment networks. And I think they're beginning to realize that. You don't spend money on an entertainment event that opens and closes the same night. Their competition is one competitor, and that's Netflix, not schmuck boxing. They make their money on entertainment, on Sopranos, on Sex and the City. That's their business. It's stupid business for them to put money into boxing, where the fight opens and closes the same night. If you put that money into a series and that series hits, then you can syndicate it for billions of dollars. 5 years from now, everything will be streaming entertainment. Sports, everything will be streaming. Look, say what you want about Bob Arum, but he said this back in 2018, and it seems like what he said may be coming true. And unlike in the past when it was outright eliminated from the equation, if the worst case scenario becomes a reality, it would signal the end of nearly 37 years of boxing on Showtime. And it would also mark the closing chapter of boxing on premium linear cable channels in the United States. And the effects of this will be felt. The potential ending of Showtime boxing will affect promotional companies, boxers. There will be less opportunities overall for fighters. Promotional companies like Al Heyman's Premier Boxing Champions, who is a primary Showtime broadcast partner and major content provider. They will soon have to pivot with Showtime no longer in the picture. So obviously this is very unfortunate news, and I don't really think anyone saw this coming. At least from a surface level, it looks like boxing has kind of been killing it, at least for 2023. The year started off hot with Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. From my understandings, this fight was a massive success. Not only that, Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. was a fight people were talking about for years, and I also believe that fight did pretty well on pay-per-view. I don't think it did as good as Tank versus Ryan, but still it did a lot of pay-per-view sales. So I really wouldn't expect that behind the scenes Paramount is pretty much saying, you know, boxing is dead, people aren't watching. But now this will create a gap in the market, and I do think there will be some other companies that step up and try to make these big fights happen, but just try to do it in a more efficient and a more cost-effective way. At the end of the day, there is still a lot of money in boxing, but I don't know, maybe we'll start to see some fighters making a lot less money, and maybe we're entering just a completely different era of boxing. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Please be sure to check out thefightmarket.com. The link to that will be down in the description. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already, and YouTube thinks you'll enjoy this video next.